My earliest prehistoric model, and I use the word very loosely, was not in fact a dinosaur. It was this rubber swing toy I've had since I was 7, which is now decades ago. Also, since I was 7, I'd go to the library almost every week and renew this book, which yes, I now know was a real a-hole move. But this book haunted me. I couldn't read much, let alone understand, so these intriguing images by the mysterious Wilcock Riley graphic art group made a huge impression, including, as you can see, a plesiosaur. Then around 9 years old, I got to looking at pictures in this magazine, and again, I couldn't understand a lot of what was written, but there were plenty of pictures of sea and lake monsters. And I swear to you, I'm not BSing you here, I dreamt that the solution to the Loch Ness Monster mystery was in fact a plesiosaur that had survived. Of course, I now know I was probably just about the 50,000th person who thought of that. So you see, plesiosaurs have been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. Now last year, PNSO started an Instagram series featuring sea reptiles, and I predicted they'd give us a plesiosaur soon. Imagine this beauty as a model. And what about this one? But nothing's happened. Until now. Still, it's not a flesh model, but a skeletal woodkit by Wonder Artistic Models. Wonder Artistic Models needs no introduction. I've reviewed quite a few of their models already. They make woodkits you assemble into skeletal models that somehow manage to incorporate as many anatomical features as possible. For an anatomy nut who also loves woodkits like me, it's a delight to discover the little things they've managed to squeeze into a model made of flat pieces. And as always, the packaging is very classy. And even with some improvements you'll appreciate if you love aesthetics. It's wrapped in very good quality paper, carefully taped down and sealed. And when you open it, there it is. What a beauty! Thalassamdeon, one of the longest elasmosaurids. At the back, you see the size comparisons and the fact that it can position the neck variously. Now previously, these templates were kept together by a slip sleeve, and now it is actually a box. Then inside, you have the flat pieces. The name Thalassamdeon means Sea Lord, and it comes from the Greek thalassa, meaning the sea, and ancient Greek medon, meaning ruler. Inside we have some information about wood, a really nice painting, and facts about the animal, the very important assembly tips. And one of the coolest things that Simon, the engineer behind it all, does is create angulation to give us three-dimensionality in regions like the ribs, as well as the flipper position. And of course, the jaws are articulated. Now note the red bits, which are the fragile parts you want to be careful about. And just looking at what's ahead makes me really excited. Some tips necessary for posing the terminal part of the neck. The kit consists of 6 templates, from A to F. Oh, just look at these flippers. Another improvement is the color coding for left, right side. It just makes it so easy to get started without having to waste time figuring out what's what. So easy to just reference this. And as always, you join pieces by pairing numbers. So for example, 1 joins the 1, 2 joins the 2, and so on. And nice visual cues like these curved arrows tell you very clearly that for parts like this, you don't insert it from the front, but from the back. Yes, I know what that sounds like. There are these round pieces to help press pieces together. What a satisfying snap! It's also invaluable to get a small needle file set like this to get into small areas for precise filing. A very sharp craft knife like this to cut through sticky pop-out pieces. And even the video tutorials have improved. They even have subtitles in English. The whole tutorial is done so exactly like how I do it. I don't really need to give you any tips like I have in the past, except to highlight aspects of the design I like. Now, one thing to note, because of how unwieldy this thing is once completed, I'll actually be showing you features of the anatomy as I build it up, so it's easier to handle. Now let's review some of the coolest parts of the model itself. We saw before there's some play to allow angulation of the ribs, and here it's actualized, with the ribs inclined backwards. The whole thing is just beautiful to look at. And here's the completed shoulder girdle. And if you're familiar with plesiosaur anatomy at all, I think you can see how this captures some of that familiar form. Now, I've been catching up on sea reptiles with this book, and I see so many things in this model that's helping me to visualize things on this learning journey. This is going to hook on like this. Very nice and snug. Just look at that three-dimensionality. The gastralia, like other Wonder Artistic models, aren't skipped out. You see here just how wonderfully formed the entire torso now looks. Just the beauty of the form in 3 dimensions. I almost don't want to put it together so I can enjoy each region. Another example of how much care Simon puts into his models. It would have been easy to just have it in one piece, but he went the extra mile to perforate the podial region, creating all these spaces to give the illusion of separation of the podials. Just another added dimension of realism, elevating it from toy to model. Now here's the cool thing. When you attach this, you don't want to insert it fully. And the reason is that not inserting it fully gives you some leeway to somewhat rotate it. Now see this? So there's a bit of posability with a bit of play. Now this gives you the freedom to angulate the flippers exactly as you want them. Not just that, this is the right side. You can attach it this way or the other. Now what's the difference? If you put it this way, you get this orientation. The other way, this is really cool because there are various theories about how these things worked, whether they beat in unison or in alternating fashion. And it's so exciting that if you really go into the nitty-gritty theory of plesiosaur propulsion, you can make very minute adjustments to so many variables to get exactly what you believe in. Now for the front and back flippers, you get to pivot these exactly. Now I prefer the alternating theory, plus I think they look more dynamic, so this is for me. Man, it's wonderful. And from here, you can admire the form of both girdles from the underside. Now of course, we have to talk about the neck. Now each of these parts is very fun to build. Here's an idea of the neck proportions compared to the body. Their side-to-side posability. Now try not to angle them too acutely, so they look naturally curved and not pathologically broken. I'm going to curve mine to the left. There are no less than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 places you can do this to create a very gradual curve. But wait, there's more! At the base, you can choose to angulate in the up-down position as well. And this is done very cleverly. In each of these positions, you form a different slot. Then the retaining pin goes in there to lock it in. Now what I suggest you do is hold it away from you and then play around to see which position you like. Is it A? Or is it this, option B? Or is it going to be option C? Now here's my preferred angle at the terminal end, which you can change. Now I'm going to create the counter curve that I like, which is option A. In goes the retaining pin. Now here, fully secure, you'll notice this gap over here. You need the spinous processes, and again this is done very thoughtfully. Depending on the neck position, you'll need a slightly different configuration of spinous processes. So I went with position A, so I'll take these ones. Now you choose B and C if you go for the other positions. And here's mine all done. And here you see the glorious curve and the counter curve looking super natural and organic. And very quickly, here you can see the jaws. Though it'd be very difficult to create the interlocking fine teeth, you still see the procumbent teeth here. You can see the inward angulation creating a very nice shape. Of course, you can choose to open or close it. And here we have it. You can truly appreciate the three-dimensionality of this plesiosaur right here. The sinuous beauty of it. You can imagine it gliding and cutting through the water, flippers moving furiously. There's just so much love and craft going into these products. You can see the rotation of the body in three-dimensional fluid space. Has there ever been a model that captures the grace and elegance of this animal? Until we get a flesh model of a plesiosaur, this is my favorite plesiosaur model right now. I'll see you in the next video.